At least 22 people are dead and hundreds injured after a violent protest in Nepal. The massive anti-corruption movement has continued despite the previously imposed social media ban was lifted, with protesters saying that social media ban was never the core concern of the people. The ensuing violence and unrest has prompted the resignation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The situation on the ground remains very volatile. The country's parliament has been charred after it was vandalized and set ablaze by the protesters on Tuesday. Neighbouring buildings had also been torched and streets lay empty. In Bhat Bhateni, a department shop was set on fire while 3 police officers were stationed at Koteshwar were allegedly killed by the protesters after they had already surrendered. The Nepalese army has announced plans to impose prohibitory orders to restore normalcy. So far, over 26 people have been arrested for vandalizing property and looting. The turmoil has forced the shutdown of Kathmandu's main international airport, with several airlines cancelling their flights to the country, including India's Air India and Indigo. The violent protests are led largely by the country's youth against corruption, nepotism and economic stagnation. On Tuesday, they set the Nakhu jail on fire and then freed Nepal's former Deputy Prime Minister Rabi Lamichhane and 1,200 other inmates. The protesters are demanding that Lamichhane should be appointed as the next Prime Minister, who they see as possible change. The United Nations Human Rights Chief has termed the incident to be appalling and has urged the authorities to protect the right to peaceful protest and has called for investigation into the deadly crackdown.
I'm appalled by the escalating violence in Nepal that has resulted in multiple deaths and the injury of hundreds of mostly young protesters, as well as the widespread destruction of property. I plead with security forces to exercise utmost restraint and to avoid further such bloodshed and harm.
The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has urged the Nepalese authorities to show restraint and to seek a constructive path forward. The Indian Prime Minister has also called for peace in the neighbouring nation, while terming the violence to be heartrending and stressing that Nepal's stability is vital for the region.